So we enter now the age of intelligence. What I mean by that is we we are now living in a world where intelligence, creativity, the capacities to solve problems, to come up with concepts is cheap. It comes out of the plug like electricity. This is the biggest transformation humanity will ever face, I think. It's a transformative technology, bigger than electricity, bigger than agriculture, bigger than the steam engine or the printing press or the internet. And I'm, of course, talking about artificial intelligence. I'm the CEO of head of the Wave AI, and we help corporations and big enterprises and international groups to understand, accept, and integrate artificial intelligence. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about what we learned and also make this as valuable as possible for whoever is listening. You know, before we had artificial intelligence, every kind of machine we had, every technology was purely deterministic. What I mean by that is a smart human programmed Excel, PowerPoint, Word in a deterministic way. He came up with his intelligence and his creativity. What should the machine do? And then when we use it, we press a button and always the same things are happening. The solution is fixed. It's 100% execution, 100% without surprises. And this changed. We have now machines that are non-deterministic. That means I talk now about AI and I will say words like it's thinking, it's talking, it's asking questions, it's reasoning, it's creating. And that is very unusual because we never talked about machines like that. So, you know, when I speak to business leaders, usually they have close to zero contact with any kind of AI. They know my children, they cheat now with ChatGPT and I can write emails with that. That is nice, but that is not the point. As I said, the point is intelligence is free now. So what you can do, the best thing you could do with AI is, especially as a business leader, you can go into ChatGPT and tell him your biggest problem you have right now. Hey, ChatGPT, it's really hard for us to scale our company and also to find young talents and to stay profitable. So, ChatGPT, I want you to interview me. Ask me one question at a time until you have the full context, until you have all the information that you need to help me solve this problem. And I think that is the biggest breakthrough, the biggest thing you need to understand. Those machines, sure, they can summarize, they can write poems, they can create music, whatever, but the biggest value you get out of them is that you can give it your problems and it can create solutions. I mean, it's as simple as asking ChatGPT, hey, ChatGPT, what do you need to know from me to help me become rich and famous? And then the machine asks you a question and you answer them. And then you say, okay, you have now all the informations. Give me 10 ideas. How will I become rich and famous? And the machine will give you 10 ideas. And if you don't like them, say, give me another 10. Give me another 10. Give me another 10. And you can do this as often as you want. And that's the magic. That is the new thing in the world. That this kind of intelligence of coming up with a solution, creating a concept, creating a strategy, that is free now. That is, I could also say, that is not longer a differentiating factor. Everybody can do that now. We do this since 3 years with 75 companies, most of them very big organizations with 10,000, 25,000 employees. And this is the most important thing to understand. And funny enough, almost all the business leaders I talk to, they think AI, that is about automation, that is about my accounting team, my development team. It is about the starting positions in my company. Maybe it's about mid-management. But what I observe is the most value people get out of that, companies get out of that, when the top management, the senior executives, start using ChatGPT as a thought partner and start solving the big issues with that machine. So isn't it funny that the first thing people do with ChatGPT is the absolute low value tasks? Yeah, I wrote an email with that, Chris. It was really good. Yeah, nice. But have you asked or talked with ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or Grok? Have you had a dialogue with the machine how to scale your business, how to solve your biggest problem? Because those are the high value tasks that only top executives do. And you stick with writing emails and poems for the birthday of your children. That is also when we start projects with big organizations, there's always the same starting point. And we don't do any other kind of starting point when we start working with organizations. First step is at least 4 hours AI empowerment workshop with the executive level. Give me the whole leadership team. I come in with my team and we give you all the knowledge, all the understanding, the right perspectives to accept, understand, and integrate artificial intelligence in your business. And yeah, in this video series, I'm going to talk about this, all what we learned, what we do, what kind of misconceptions we see out there, how you can start that. And also I will have my team here, and they're going to also talk about what does it mean personally and what does it mean for young people. And maybe as a last point, one of the top 3 questions I get from senior leaders. Like after 1 or 1.5 hours into the first workshop where they learn about AI, always somebody raises his hands and says, Chris, what does that mean for my children? I'm always very happy about this question because it means they got it. They understand this is such a big transformation. So the normal reaction for every human is, if they have children, to think about what does it mean for them. A week ago, a business leader in a big insurance company asked me, Chris, my daughter wants to study law. She wants to become a lawyer. Does that make sense? And honestly, I don't know. But what I always say is, tell your daughter she should study something that is hard, something where she trains her brain, where she learns critical thinking and she learns how to think in this world, how to solve problems, and also how to use artificial intelligence.